I can fly, but I want his wings. Right, I'm getting another message. It's great, I love it. But there's something that's trying to stop me from being seen right now. It's like this like little voice in my head that's trying to say, oh no, you don't want people to look at you, you don't want people to judge you, look, you haven't even got any lipstick on, put some lipstick on, sloppy. And you know that this voice isn't yours, but it's trying to invade your mind. Can you make the distinction between you and that voice in your head that's trying to take over? It's not yours. It's not your voice, the one that's telling you that you're not good enough. You've got to be able to learn to distinguish the difference between you and what's not you. Because the truth is that you are love. You come from source. We all do. And the opposite of that is trying to take over. That's why we have so much separation in the world. That's why we have so much hate, because we feel like we're separate from each other, but we're not. Now, I know that some people are getting very confused and they're getting very scared and they don't know what's going on and they don't know where to turn because they're seeing all this destruction and all this hate and this separation and they don't understand what's going on. Like, I can't, obviously there are people who are doing their digging and they're finding out the truth. I'm not here to kind of go into detail about what that is. It's up to people to do their own research and find out what it is themselves. But you've got to learn to distinguish the voices that are yours and the ones that are not, that are trying to stop you from being the biggest, best, brightest star that you came here to be. Because we did all come here with a specific mission and purpose, and the things that we enjoy doing will tell us what those things are. But instead we just think, oh, let's do the safe thing, like let me do the thing that's the most employable and is going to give me like security and money. And it's just like, yes, that's important, but then you're just realizing that you're put on this planet and you are just a slave, because we have to pay to actually be alive. Like, there's no other animal on this planet that has to pay to be alive, but we have to pay for all. I mean, we obviously need to pay for like services and exchange, for goods and things like that. But there's certain things like that you need, like sometimes you need like a permit to like grow food in the earth. It's just ridiculous. Like, I mean, how the whole system was that we came up with the system in the first place. Like, nobody even really asks the questions like, how was government established? Why? Like, how was the financial system established? Like, how does the financial system even work? Where does the money come from? How is it generated? And then who loans it to who and what? So a private company prints money, lends it to the government, and then the government and the people have to pay it back with interest, but they come up with the money in the first place. So we're just in this cycle of like, do you know what I mean? And the thing is, I feel like I'm going crazy because nobody seems to realize that that is the source of the problem. Like, that is one of the major obstacles that we're facing at the moment, this debt slavery system. And everybody keeps on talking about the left wing versus the right wing, and we just need to vote this person in and then that person's going to change things. The whole problem is the system of government and the financial system in the first place. It's a system of slavery. People need to realize that. People need to research the transatlantic slave trade. They need to research the Haitian Revolution. They need to understand our history. But people don't want to look at it because, whatever, it's controversial. It's not taught in our school systems. Let's be honest, the British education system will never ever spoke about the Haitian Revolution, because once you research the Haitian Revolution, you realise that we're in indentured servitude. So we're all just slaves, basically. And we have to give money to the government at the end of the year so that they can... The only legislation that supports the taxation system is one that they came up with at the start of the World War One. So basically the only legislation that says that we have to pay tax is legislation that says that it's going to be used for war. So that's what it is. And I just feel like I'm going nuts, because it's just like people don't even get these simple things. Like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to go like rant about it too much, but it does frustrate me. But yeah, I think a lot of people are, it's not like they don't realize it. It's like they're too afraid to say it. Because once people start realizing it, then you've got those voices, the little parasites in your head going, no, you can't say that. No, you can't say that. Because it's going to be too controversial, or people will get upset. Because people are very, very fragile at the moment. They're like, oh, well, have you got a better system? Have you got a better idea? Well, yeah, we need to wake up. We need to realize that we're not separate from each other, that we're one. That's what needs to happen. And then we have to actually take responsibility for ourselves and stop expecting the government to do everything. Like, don't people realize that the government isn't here for you? The government don't like you. Like, they're out for themselves. Like, I know people don't want to acknowledge this and they don't want to admit this, but that's what's up. Like, that's the truth. And we've been seeing that for a really, really long time now. But people don't want to acknowledge it to themselves because they're too scared of the consequences. Because then they have to admit that, like, the police work for the government and they work for just corporations, and they're not actually, they go into it maybe thinking that they're going to protect and serve, but that's not what they end up actually doing. But that's what our taxes pay for. So we're actually paying for our own enslavement. I know people people don't want to admit this, but that is what's going on. So anyway, like, I just needed to like channel some of these frustrations that are just coming up right now. And, you know, just don't get me wrong when I say these things, people, but it's only like I'm coming from a place of love, and I'm getting very, what I can visualize happening in the future is like so far removed from where we are now. And I either see us moving in two directions. Either we're going to completely annihilate ourselves and it's going to be like just death and destruction, environmental destruction, and it's just going to be really, really bad news. Or we are actually going to awaken as a species and we're going to start to be more sustainable, and we're going to start to go vegan. We're going to start to create systems that are actually going to help us rather than hinder us and just make money for banksters and corporations. So what's it going to be? Like, seriously, like, we have to decide. Anyway, I'm going to peace out on this. I love you all. Thanks for watching. What do you think? Leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, I'm currently reading the Kabbalion and just going over it so that I can do the video series that I have promised, which is the hermetic principles. Number one, the first one is going to be the principle of mentalism, which is going to be really, really important for us to understand. Okay, good night, guys. I love you all. Bye-bye.
You're introduced to LSD, and unless you've taken some other drug, like for instance, like marijuana or something, well, you know, it's an altogether new thing, and